What's on the bench? It's the show where you find out what's on the bench. Welcome back to the Skill Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching episode 11 of What's on the Bench. We've got a lot of stuff to get through and kind of an interesting twist, not necessarily in this episode, but into the format. What I'm going to do from now on is film an episode, and we'll see stuff on the bench like this, and then we'll follow it up on a Tuesday night live with sort of a What's on the Bench double take, I guess we'll call it. That's actually a good name for it. I like that. So here we are, episode 11. Let's get right into it. The first thing on the bench today is the TGH Sherpa. This is going to be the basis of my Class 2 Scale Nationals build. So I guess this is officially, unofficially, the beginning of the road to Scale Nationals 2022, which is pretty exciting. I'm going to be driving down to Alabama, and I'm going to take some trucks with me and compete against Josh. He's making me do Class 1, 2, and 3. 3 not being my most favorite class, but I think what we're going to do is take this TGH Sherpa, and this is the Pro, this is the carbon fiber edition, with the Holmes Hobbies logo emblazoned on the rear shock mounts there. We're going to make this double duty. We're going to make this Class 2 and Class 3 capable. It's not there yet, obviously. There's a lot of stuff to still be done to this truck, but you can see the basis of what's going to happen. And some of the electronics have been installed. There are axles on there for now. These are the SCX-10-3 straight axles. They probably won't last, at least the rear one won't last. I am going to have to get rear steer put into this truck because rear steer is a Class 3 capable option. It can't be done in Class 2, but I think what we'll do is we'll make it sort of like a quick swap out, and then we'll be able to have it run in Class 3 when it needs to be Class 3, and Class 2 when it needs to be Class 2. Some of the features of this chassis, a very angled skid, as you can see. This is sort of like flat to camera, but the skid is actually quite dramatically angled towards the bottom of the front of the chassis. We've got a TGH front motor mount here, which provides power to this transfer case, also from TGH. Pretty heavy duty level of overdrive. I think it's around 30%, so plenty for a comp truck, terrible for a trail truck. I'm using stock links for now. I'm still working out some of the dimensions and some of the geometry. The rear seems to be working pretty well. Front is okay. I will need to make a new panhard if I stick with these AR45 straight axles. I am considering going to the AR44 axle, straight axle again, just because there's more options for mounting a rear steer setup. So that's something that we're going to be looking at as well. Moving around to the front here, Holmes Hobbies servo is powering this truck. Also a Holmes Hobbies Crawlmaster Mini ESC. And this is sort of loosely put together. I've added a Castle Creations BEC because the included BEC smoked. But they knew that was going to happen, offered refunds. I didn't really pay attention to what that refund was for. Now we know. Currently there is a Reefs RC IS 800 internal winch there. I'm not sure I'm going to keep that for Class 2/3. I'll probably see if I can't get my hands on one of the Holmes internal winches, because those are crazy powered. And since there's already Holmes everywhere, why not keep it all Holmes? Finally, it's a Holmes Revolver 2200 kV Outrunner style motor. The great thing though, these are usually super annoying to listen to. The great thing though is that with this Crawlmaster Mini ESC, there is no whine at all from that motor. It is dead silent. Very, very cool. Currently, I've also got the Proline Big Bore Scalar shocks. I hate saying that word. Let's just call them Big Bores. What I might do is end up running Droop, see if we can't get some small mini T-springs on there. I do like Droop. I am a bigger fan of it than Josh. These are Proline Hyrax 4.75s. I probably won't change tires for Class 3. Not a lot of people At least from what I've seen, a lot of people who do the double duty kind of leave everything the same. They just add like rear steer or a dig. So that's probably what we're gonna end up going with. Method wheels. These are the new IFR style beadlock rings, which I think look pretty cool and also lead you into what some color choices might be for the body itself. Speaking of the body, it's in a box right now. This is all there is to it. I've been madly printing. I've got something like 80 hours of print time into this body so far. And you're probably saying to yourself, hey, that looks like a Jeep hood. And yes, you'd be right. That is a Jeep hood. Actually, it's a whole Jeep, but not a typical Jeep. It's not a Gladiator either. And you might think so because there's a rear bed, but this is actually a concept truck that Jeep made for Easter Jeep Safari a number of years ago called the J6, which is essentially a single cab pickup with a short bed. Very cool looking truck. I wish that they had made it. Why didn't they make that truck? It was amazing. Maybe they still will. Who knows? But we're going to see if we can't make this work. It's all 3D printed, and it's exceptionally strong because I printed it at 85% infill. So it's a pretty thick boy body, which obviously is not great for a competition truck. But I've got some other weight-saving ideas in mind, and I really do want those hard body, custom body points. So we're going to see how this all comes together. I think it's going to be a pretty cool looking truck once it's done. For now, I am going to try to use it complete. There will have to be some trimming and cutting to fit around the chassis, but I do kind of want to use this. I think it'll be unique, and it'll be something that not everybody has seen before. Because no one's done a J6 so far as I know. I got the files on Cults 3D. If you are interested in printing one out for yourself, I will put a link down below. And in fact, I'll put links down below to all of the things that I talk about today on What's on the Bench, including this awesome TGH chassis. It is a great comp chassis. I love that it's carbon fiber, nice and light, and it's been pretty easy to put together so far. I've actually got a live assembly of that chassis right up there. I'll put a link up there so you can check that out at your leisure. And so that's the unofficial start of the road to the Scale Nationals. There will be more separate videos covering everything that goes into these builds. Do you have any ideas for what I'll be running in Class 1? If I'm doing a printed custom body for Class 2, certainly there's something in mind for Class 1. One more note on that body, this was printed on my Prusa i3 Mark III Plus using Prusament Galaxy Silver, and I really like this filament. It is spectacular. It's just so great. This was all printed at 0.20 quality mode, and it just means that I'll have to do less sanding, because sanding these bodies is the worst. I hate doing it, I really do. But it's necessary. The great thing about this Galaxy Silver is that if I do scratch the paint, which is very likely, at least bare metal will show through. So that'll look pretty cool. Pretty happy with the progress on that so far. Okay, on to the next thing. You might have seen this sitting off to the side at the beginning of this episode and thinking to yourself, what is going on there? Well, I'm going to explain it to you. This is a new scale piece from SSD RC, and I am really excited about this. This is an actual functional locking hub from SSD. The amount of engineering that's gone into this piece is pretty spectacular. And if you're not familiar, most old trucks before, say, I don't know, even into the 90s probably, all had manual locking hubs to lock the front axles for off-roading, four-wheel drive style. Most trucks, I think at the time, would just run in rear-wheel drive only, and you'd have to jump out of your truck and turn this little device here in the center and lock the hub so everything would work in four-wheel drive. This is designed to work around SLW pattern hubs, and I've got it installed here on a method wheel from Vanquish just to show you how it all goes together. There is a brake disc, as you can see behind there. In fact, you know what? Let me flip it over here. I've got the wheel off on this one. This kit includes everything you need to do in order to swap one axle to this locking and unlocking manual hub. There's a brake disc, as you can see there, nicely machined parts. Everything looks really smooth and shiny. It's pretty spectacular, actually. And what this will allow you to do, you also get new universals because there is a different design on how this all goes together. You get this little tiny tool here and your locking hub. And as an example, I'm just going to turn this here. Just turn. Right now it's in its locked mode, so it turns with the ring and pinion, and the other tire turns and everything too. So turn this a few turns clockwise, and now that hub is completely unlocked from the rest of the axle. Tell me that's not the coolest thing in the whole world. I mean, you can see it's just freewheeling there now, which is amazing. It is exactly like it would operate in a full-size vehicle, and I think that is pretty darn cool. It does come unassembled. The assembly instructions are amazing, very easy to do, and this just adds another level of realism. This isn't the first time this existed. It's the first time it's existed at this kind of level of accuracy, but Tamiya did this with the original Hilux. Yeah, on the original Toyota pickup. That was also a feature that existed, and now it's back. It's so cool. And while it's not all that practical, it is a pretty cool feature. And if you're building a vintage truck, this is definitely something that I think you might want to investigate using, because it is just so cool. I'm pretty blown away by it, actually. So this setup will work for any SCX-10 2 style axle. I've just got it installed on a stock RTR axle here. This will also work on any Element axle without any modifications. So you can use this in any of your existing builds that have those axles. There's a strong likelihood that if you have any Vanquish Curries that are from the SCX-10 2 style, they will probably also work there too, because all the tolerances are basically the same. So something you can definitely try on one of your next builds. I'm definitely going to be implementing this on maybe the 4Runner, I think. I just got this. It's just been released, so it's brand new, but definitely something that I am pretty psyched about. It's very cool and definitely worthy of what's on the bench. And thank you, SSD, for sending these my way and giving me sort of the first look at these. It's very cool. Nice job. All right, on to the next thing. Okay, next on the list, yes, this is a long time coming. Still not quite there yet. The Wesmade Volkswagen Thing pickup truck. And there's been some progress. I'm finding it to be quite the big body. Originally, I was going to use this as my Class 2 body. And no. I don't think I realized how big Wes made this. It's not a very big truck in real life, so this has got to be close to like 6th, 7th scale. It's pretty gigantic. But it is looking very good. Some of the things that have come along, the roof has started to take shape. It'll need some filling and sanding along that profile there. But as you can see here, one of the techniques that I use a lot is strips and then a little bit of my styrene slurry, and that creates a pretty amazing bond because it's a chemical bond, of course. The slurry does a great job of filling in some gaps as well. It's a great gap filler for the rear of the truck here. You can see there's still a lot of sanding that needs to be done there, but it's essentially allowing me to use two pieces to become one. And now this whole rear tailgate is sandwiched in there and fully locked into place. It's not going to go anywhere. So creates a nice, strong, stable bond, and it adds a lot of rigidity to a body like this. So happy to see some progress there. The actual bed is sort of complete as well. But yeah, it's got a lot of work ahead of it. But I'm very happy with the progress. And if you are interested, Wesmade is doing a lot of great bodies out there, and I think he's taking it even more seriously than he was before. So you may want to jump on there and pick up a body or get him to build something for you, because there's some pretty amazing stuff that he's doing out there. Very cool stuff. And while it won't be a comp truck, I think we'll do a good job on this. Put all the fenders on, scale it out, make it look as realistic as possible, and then plop it on something. Make a truck out of it. Make some videos. All right. there we go. Next on this episode of What's on the Bench, the Rebel RC Rebelcon. Yeah, it's muddy. I just played with it. In all seriousness, I wanted to take this out and actually have some real running time on it before I did a review. It's always nice to do an on the bench review, but there's another thing entirely once you've had a few hours of actual trail time to give you a better impression of how the truck works. I'm not going to spoil that review right now, but I did want to say that it is coming, and it should be shot and edited in the next few days, hopefully for a release very soon. It is a pretty decent truck though, I will say that. But there's a lot of quirks about it too. We will get into that very soon. Okay, on to another truck. And finally, for this episode of What's on the Bench, probably my weirdest creation, in a while anyway, the Hoonivan. I don't really know what to say, except I'm sorry. If you're familiar with Ken Block, he did a tracked version of the Ford Raptor a few years back in this paint scheme. And when I saw that, and I saw this van body from Charisma, I was like, you know what? I think we could do that one better. So I built this Hoonivan, if you will. This is a Traxxas TRX4. I think it started as a Sport. It now has the Traxxas Trax installed and this van body. And there's some nice details on this van body that I'm going to go over in a second here. The Traxxas Trax don't come in this color. They come in sort of a silver gray color. I decided to take them all apart and paint these pieces so it kind of fit that Ken Block theme. Did a custom paint job on the Prairie Wolf body. This took a couple of weeks to do, actually. It wasn't easy. I did use the On Point paint that I've been a big fan of lately. Multiple colors, multiple masks. This monster logo, that is all paint. There's no decal there. Same thing with the Hoonigan logo. It's all paint except for these stickers right here. So that's not too bad, I wouldn't say. Some really nice Night Customs add-ons. Roof rack up here. And the front grille, which if you look closely has the Ford Chevy logo that I like to troll people with. Also a full interior from Night Customs as well, specific to the Prairie Wolf, which I was pretty chuffed to see. I didn't know that existed yet, so very cool to see that. Printed that out on the Prusa as well. Went flawlessly, fits in there really, really well and looks awesome. There is like a curtain behind it, sort of like the RC Nerds curtain for the Proline van body. This one I covered in a felt fabric that's got a stickiness on the back there, so it kind of has that fabric feel, but it looks great. It all went together pretty well. There is a full light kit from My Trick RC. We've got a big light bar right up top, another one down below. The headlights are from My Trick RC, and I've also got rock lights on all four corners. So it is all in all a pretty hilarious build. I also wanted to make sure there was enough power going through this truck, so I got rid of the stock brushed motor and put in a 2300 kV brushless motor, which I think will give it plenty of oomph. You'll also notice some other details here. This ladder here comes with the Prairie Wolf body, which is pretty cool. And I've also got some snowboards on here because I thought that would be sort of fitting. They had them on the Raptor, so I figured they should probably go on here as well. This was a lot of paint and a lot of effort for a paint job. But I really wanted to try to take that to the next level and make it as good looking and as close to the original truck as possible. I definitely have to credit Hemistorm for giving me some great ideas, especially on this monster logo. There is a blue to yellow fade in the actual logo, and he taught me a technique of using a rolled piece of masking tape, and you just kind of stick that just very loosely around the very sides of where you're trying to create that fade. Spray your darker color, lift off the tape, spray your lighter color, and you get a nice fade between those two colors. I think it turned out great, and thank you very much, Hemistorm, for that tip. Otherwise, the only thing I'm waiting for now is snow, because we don't have any of it. We had a little tiny bit, not enough to really showcase this build, But as soon as there's a good pile of snow out there, we'll get a good running video going. I am so happy with this, just the look of it, and sort of how its stance, and it's kind of imposing, and I think it looks really good. I can't wait to see it out in the actual snow. I think that's where it's really going to shine, because that's sort of what these tracks are made for. Not a mud truck. Speaking of mud trucks, we got to get that mud truck done. Okay, I think that's probably going to do it. Like I said earlier in the episode, there will be a follow-up. We're going to call it sort of like a What's on the Bench double take. I think that's what we said we were going to call it. That'll show tomorrow night, Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So anytime there's a What's on the Bench in the future, we'll do a follow-up live show. You can ask me more questions in detail, and I'll try to answer them for you in that episode. I think it's going to be a fun way to kind of combine a recorded episode and a live episode. So I hope you stick around for that. And if you're enjoying this video, you like this series, you like seeing stuff on the bench, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. That's going to do it for this one. We will see you tomorrow night. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.